Okay, good morning. But wait, what was it? Our theme song? I don't remember the theme song.
Ba-ba-da.
Ba-ba-da. It sounds worse coming from me. So I'm trying to pull off the Phoebe from Friends, like the sexy jazzy sound, and I feel like I just sound like normal Phoebe, where it's just like a kind of a screaming cat.
I'll just get a trumpet, and there'll just be some Louis Armstrong.
Honestly,
well, that's all Today Cafe is going to be.
Give me a microphone and some background music, and who knows what's going to happen. See, you get it. I'm not going to do that, but welcome to the Medicare Cafe free chat. Welcome. Actually, this is my good friend Carrie. She's joining us again today. Carrie Vogt.
Yep.
Actually, if you didn't notice, or maybe you haven't tuned in for a while, Carrie is actually out today. She's got a little bit of, I guess, what I got. She was just smarter about staying home. It's if you're in mid-Missouri or Missouri in general, you're familiar with like the crazy. You just got over this last week.
Exactly.
Did you do this?
Look, I cannot be held liable. I'm not liable for this, is all I'm going to say.
Anytime the weather gets a little wonky, like yesterday, it was 60 degrees. The day before that, it was like 12. Today, it's around like that 40 mark. So anytime like our weather starts doing what Missouri does best and just goes like crazy, my sinuses and my throat and everything, like I feel fine. It's literally just like you turn on a faucet to my sinuses. So
that's the whole reason I started going to an allergist, so I get shots now to help battle this, because this past year just sat me down more so than ever. So it's the lovely.
I used to go to an allergist, and I didn't do the shots. I did the drops under the tongue. Okay. And you have anaphylactic shock one time, and they tell you shouldn't do that anymore. So
that's probably a good piece of advice if there's going to be pieces of advice.
I mean, that's what I have for you today. If you have really bad allergies, don't do the drops, because you will get anaphylactic shock, and they get very upset when you don't tell them that you're that sensitive.
They were like, we're gonna have to prescribe you a an EpiPen, and I was like, it's just a shot. Surely, I don't need to use it. They're like, you need to have this. You need to have it at all times. So it could go off without a hitch.
Funny story. So back before EpiPens were like the automatic, you just jab them into your leg, and it administers it. Before that, they actually had it was kind of the same thing, except for it didn't inject it automatically. Like I had a needle. Like right now, the needle is hidden.
Yeah.
And so you push it in and it injects it. The old ones used to be that it was like a vial. It was pre-penned, but you would take off the lid and you would have to punch it in and click it. Right? That was the old style. Funny story. I have a buddy who late in life found out he was allergic to everything. Literally woke up one day. He can't have
flipped off.
Yes, can't have the traditional the peanuts, the seafood, but he also can't have mushrooms, can't have anything with citrus, can't have any type of acetone, like literally allergic to most things.
What does he eat?
Rice, maybe. Rice and beer. He's not allergic to beer.
So they did.
So which explains. Okay. So one night he was, everybody was out, I think, playing cards, something like that. We were at our buddy's house, and he started drinking. It was back. He was drinking Bud Light Lime when it started becoming a big deal.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's how we found out he can't have citrus.
Oh, no.
The lime caused him to go into anaphylactic shock. Because it's not just hives. He goes into full anaphylactic shock.
Oh, my goodness.
So he had the EpiPen. My buddy jabbed it into the side of his leg. His jean seams. It hit the seam of his jean.
No.
So then the needle bent up.
No.
Listen, this is not why you tuned into this show. But it didn't go to his leg. So then they had to take a pair, because they're all farmers, of dirty farm pliers, straighten out the needle, and then give him the life-saving ephilipper.
Yeah, no, that's the technical term.
Sure.
The feel-good juice.
The feel-good juice. So anyways, that saved his life. That's my funny story about EpiPens.
Oh,
welcome, everybody, to the Medicare Cafe. Again, if you're just now tuning in with us, my name is Olivia Richardson.
And I am Benjamin Lavis.
Yes, you are missing out on Carrie today. She had to stay home with some sick kids and probably was just a little smarter than me. Again, it's that time of year where our weather starts doing this and my nose starts doing this. So thank you guys for trying to, if it does get too annoying and you just can't handle the sound of my screech, I don't have an alternative for you. I'm sorry. You don't have an option. Turn off the YouTube machine, I guess.
We'll just do the post-processing of subtitles or something and just tune in afterwards that way.
Yeah, well, So you guys might be familiar with Ben. Ben does a lot of webinars with us. He also is incredibly active on the Medicare Cafe Facebook group. So he does a lot of posts and videos on there as well to keep everybody up to date what's going on with the industry. So even though Carrie can't join us, I'm really excited we have Ben here today to kind of jump on this morning and take us the rest of the way.
Literally jump on. Super
Literally.
excited to have the opportunity to speak to you guys, be brought in on a platform like this.
Literally this morning in the middle of his meeting, I was like, hey, by the way, Carrie can't come in. You in? He's like, I don't know what, but yeah, I'm in.
Let's do it. I'm ready to talk. I have a fancy enough shirt, so we can definitely do it.
But you kind of matched me with the blue. Oh, you're colorblind. Did you know that's blue?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, Ben's color. I can't talk. Ben can't see. We're fine.
It's a great duo.
So today, what we're going to be talking about, guys, today we're going to be talking about the holy grail of leads, working your current book of business. And the reason why I wanted to start with this is because every single... Yes, thank you. Oh, yes, thank you. She's like, I can relate going through the same thing. Yes, if you're in the Midwest, you're going through this as well. But the reason why I want to talk about this is because I was recently working with an agent who was new getting into the senior market. And it's almost every single time the same story. And they're talking to me like, I want to learn, how do I work leads? I want to learn, how do I do these events? I want to learn all this stuff. And I'm like, well, tell me about your current book of business.
Yeah.
Excuse me. He said, I have about 500 clients. I'm like, okay, enough said. Start there. He goes like, well, not all of them are 65, not all of them are this. I'm like, I don't care if they're 7 years old. Yeah. You start with your current book of business. And that's something that I think is the most overlooked lead source that is in our industry.
I would 100% agree. I've seen it firsthand as well, working with a couple of agencies that are so eager to learn so much and everything all at once, where really you're gifted this opportunity to work with people that already have that relationship with you, so that safety net is there. So it's you get to actually kind of get your hands dirty and get to test the space with someone that's you're used to.
Well, it's just some things to keep in mind, guys. There are several reasons why we need to get more creative with our lead sources. Number one is that there are some litigation or basically some updates going out that make it very possible that you will not have the ability to purchase leads going into 2024. Excuse me. And that's basically saying that TPMOs cannot sell to other TPMOs. So you are a TPMO as an agent. These lead vendors are also TPMOs. They cannot sell client information to you anymore. And that is something that hasn't gone into effect yet, but is proposed and is very likely to actually take effect going into the 2024 season.
And it's going to require you guys to stay on your feet and be very adaptable. A lot of these people are looking at leads as a generation for new business or a way to influence the amount of business. And our end goal is to have these leads boost your sales. That's the whole point of leads, whether you're kicking off from nothing or if you've gotten to a point where you maybe feel a bit stagnant or want to be able to try to push through. That's the whole point of these. And if you're not going to be able to do that with leads, you have to find other avenues.
Leads are way too expensive to rely on them fully. You know what I mean? Like your client acquisition cost, you don't make a profit. When you sell somebody an insurance policy, a MedSup or Medicare Advantage based off a lead, that lead is likely to cost you, by the time it's all said and done, about $200 plus.
Yeah.
You are not making a profit on that lead for a long time. So just making sure that, again, you got to find alternative ways.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And the last one, I'm going to quit talking, Ben. This is all you. I'm going to sit here in mine.
But, I mean, you're exactly right. Like, being able to see the differences here and just the opportunity that it's okay. Leads are a very touchy source or topic when it for Olivia, so we apologize.
I am crying. We're fine. Ben, take it away. Talking about clients versus policyholders.
I got you. Yeah, no, without a doubt. So, you have such great opportunity here in front of you. And the whole point and the whole purpose, these leads are generating a policy holder. You don't have this relationship. The ideal aspect that you're getting to is to have clients on your book. And a lot of what you guys are going to see actually is that you already have a lot of these clients already with your other lines of businesses. I think we see it first and foremost with multi-line agencies. They have something like PNC, auto, whatever it may be. And Olivia's left the building. This is apparently just a me show right now. She should be joining us back here soon, just kind of clearing up again. If you're familiar with the Midwest, you know exactly what she's going through right now. But the whole point of all this is you have the capability in this group of people that you've already serviced a great relationship with. And they really say that the difference between a policyholder and a client is the amount of policies that you have with them. The whole goal is to have multiple lines or multiple products with each of those policyholders that converts them into a sticky client.
I'm back.
She's back. I can stop. I can breathe.
Sorry.
You're
No,
totally
I'm not
okay.
talking anymore. I'm just going to
okay.
sit here and drink my water and nod with approval.
Phew, I feel like this is like my meeting all over again. It's really just trying to
I'm
figure out if I
judging you super hard. This is an audition. I don't know what for yet, but it's an audition for something.
Well, we were just kind of talking about converting that policyholder that you may get from a lead into that actual client, and you know the way to do that is to actually have multiple products or multiple lines, and kind of funnel that through like this river to see kind of that transition from policyholder to an actual client.
Oh, for sure. I think a lot of people will say, how many clients do you have? And they'll say, I have 300, I have 500, I have 20. And then you say, well, what's the average policy count a person will have with you? Like, well, they have their med step with their Advantage plan with me. I'm like, okay, no, that's a policyholder. Yeah. Policyholder has little to no loyalty with you. You are at the right place at the right time. They're likely to switch from you. It's kind of like, again, we talk about Apple versus Android. I'm an Apple. You're an Android.
That's finally happening.
It's
the battle of the ages.
It is. And we talk about, like, if I buy new technology, I buy Apple technology. My laptop, my computer, my phone, my watch, everything. And it's because I am so embedded, and I just know that's where I go. So that's what you want to do with your clients, is make it to where you're the obvious choice, and you do that by having multiple product lines with them.
They've done a really good job of creating that ecosystem that you've been plugged into, and now it feels weird actually to go anywhere else.
It does. That's why I won't.
And if you can follow that in kind of how you're running your business with your policyholders, in converting them into clients, they're going to feel weird or awkward even considering moving to a different person to take care of something else for you.
And they don't want to mess up everything else they have with you. So let me go back over here. So again, just some statistics about, again, those policyholders. They are 5 times cheaper than purchasing a lead. A current client is 5 times cheaper, and they're 3 times more likely to buy additional products with you because you've already won their trust over. So again, they are the cheapest and the highest closing ratio. You really do need to be making sure. Plus, the best lead that for anybody has is someone else's client, right?
True.
So if you don't offer those products to them, somebody else will. You want to make sure you're doing everything you can to keep those clients.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really interesting point that you bring that up, because yes, I'm someone who's new, or someone that your words.
I don't have them.
Anyone from the audience, can we pull in?
Somebody who wants to join us?
Pull in a member. But yeah, the 5 times, you said 5 times less expensive, and 3 times more likely to grab another product line with you. And I'd even maybe throw in, this is just a Ben statistic. This isn't backed by anything other than my name. But the effort in which to actually do all of that is also significantly lower. You've already done so much work for that initial part of the business. You can really just kind of ride that through with the remainder parts of it.
Very true. So let's get into ways to market to your current book of business. And this one I like to just call just passive communication, just things that aren't necessarily you forcing your message in front of them, but just keeping your message in front of those individuals.
I think the craziest question, I know we've talked about this on a previous cafe, where sometimes just asking a simple question is a majority of the battle. And one of the first things that I ask a multi-line agency when we're working and they're trying to get into the Medicare space or they're trying to grow is, do your clients know you offer that business or offer that service? You'd be surprised on how many times I hear the answer no.
Well, they think that they know. It's like, well, I told them I did this. No, your clients have no idea. They don't know that they're supposed to ask for cancer insurance. They don't know that they're supposed to ask for dental, vision, hearing. It's your job to tell them if I talk lower, it doesn't hurt as bad. It's your job to tell them that is an option for them. Wow, this actually feels so much better.
Just do that then.
All right, here we go.
I'll take the high. I'll bump up.
Can you be my alto?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. I don't know how singing works. But anyway, so that is something to keep in mind. I can't do this. That is something to really keep in mind, is that they're not going to ask you about those product lines because they don't know that they need to ask you about those product lines. So make sure that you are passively, sometimes if you're uncomfortable with cross-selling, there are ways to passively let them know about it. Tell them a little bit about like our AMP program.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that's a leading place that we lean on here. And
I can't wait to listen back on this in my voice. Oh my gosh.
So AMP stands for Agent Marketing Portfolio. It's something that senior marketing specialists piece together through our marketing departments. And I won't go too much into it, but it is it's a lifesaver for agents. There's always this cutoff of expectation that you try to reach because you are performing, this is a business. You want to be professional. You want things to look good.
Right.
But not everyone has the time, the capability, whatever it may be, to make those things look gorgeous. What we've done here is piece together with our marketing department like a full-scale kit of pieces such as medication trackers, bookmarks, recipe cards, Wi-Fi signs, postcards, turning 65 letters, really anything that you might be able to utilize when communicating to your current book of business that you are now servicing the Medicare space.
Right.
It's all personalized to you. It looks pretty. I'm a huge fan of the animal collection coming from, my father's a veterinarian, so like call me biased, but like it's just gorgeous. And it's one of the easiest things that is free.
Yeah,
so
it is.
It's kind of nice.
A lot of things that we talk about as far as like your retention services, I don't recommend AMP pieces for new clients. The reason for that is because the pieces are beautiful, they are colorful, they get your attention, but it's advertising. And so if you were trying to gain new clients via that, they will throw away that piece because it's very obviously advertising.
It looks too good.
It looks too good.
Not personalized.
It works very good for your current book of business because it kills two birds with one stone. It keeps your name, your logo, your brand, it keeps your message in front of them, which helps you with those 7 contacts a year for good retention. But it also, I feel like I'm on a breathing machine, but it also makes it to where you are passively letting people know that dental is an option. Life insurance is an option. And so you will get a return on them. They're just not going to be good. If the people don't know you and don't recognize and don't have a relationship with you, it's advertising, so they throw it away. So it is great for retention.
Yeah, it's just almost kind of even just planting that thorn in their hand, even if it just says dental, vision, hearing. That alone will incite them to ask the question.
Exactly.
And so it's a huge passive capability to just let them know of the spaces we've mentioned previously.
Yeah, and Kim says she's going to check out the Turning 65 letters. It's perfect. If you represent other lines of insurance, it's the best way to tell people, hey, I can help you with your Medicare stuff.
Yeah.
So that's one way, again, passive communication. Newsletters, that's included in AMP. You send out 4 newsletters a year. Great to keep in front of them. Social media and general advertising. So one thing I think a lot of people, when I say social media, for the love of all that is good, do not do any advertising or any sales on your Facebook page. It will not be met well. It's not the purpose of Facebook. People don't want to be sold to on Facebook. But there are ways that you can do general content about like cancer awareness, or you can do things about, a story about you selling somebody life insurance. Making it conversational is a really great way to kind of let people know those products are out there without it coming across as like, hey, buy this from me, because that will not be met well on social media.
I think the best way that I've been able to kind of differentiate the two is, yes, you got to have the pieces that inform and everything like that, but Facebook its biggest component is that it is you. It is a personalized tool that's you speaking. It doesn't always have to be this huge conglomerate. It is you. It's selling you as a person, as someone who offers the service.
Yeah. So let's talk about some ways, in addition to passively talking about that or making people aware of it, there's also the ability to do the follow-up appointments. Follow-up appointments, you should always set a follow-up appointment. And if you if your clients are confused as to why they need a follow-up appointment, it's because you didn't set the expectations of, hey, I take care of you holistically, and this is a long-term relationship for us. So it's a great way. I put the quote on there earlier, but just to say something along the lines of, hey, last time we met, we didn't get the chance to talk about the non-medical cost of cancer. Yeah. We didn't get to talk about your plans for leaving a legacy with your family. It allows you to be able to bring up those conversations without necessarily, making it to where you're uncomfortable with the Medicare supplement or Medicare Advantage sale.
And we see that pretty commonly throughout AEP because of the scope of appointment. There's so many things that we can't mention or don't even have the time sometimes even to mention during that time. So these follow-ups are essential to not only taking care of your clients holistically, but, and that's the whole goal.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in the position where something happens and simply because you didn't have the opportunity to bring it up.
Exactly. So the follow-up appointment, always set a follow-up appointment. We don't have time to go into like all the details about that right now, but just it is a great time to bring up those extra products. And the last thing I'm going to say, I'm just kidding. The last thing I'm going to say is you should absolutely be working on cross-selling at that initial appointment. When you add additional products into your sales presentation, excuse me, when you add additional products to your sales presentation, really each product should take about 2 minutes to add. So it doesn't add a crazy amount to your sales presentation. And if you feel uncomfortable with bringing up those additional product lines, it's because you're not fact-finding correctly. All cross-selling happens in the fact-finding portion of the appointment because that's when you set the expectations.
That's actually a pretty interesting point here, and I think a lot of that fact-finding maybe gets casted to the wayside because it seems like it could be too much time. Yeah. But there's so much benefit further down the line, and it's a couple extra questions that you really should be asking your client anyway.
What I'm seeing happening right now is that today's Medicare beneficiary is more educated and coming to our agents more educated than they've ever been before. So instead of it being like, do you need a Med Sup? Do you need a Medicare Advantage? They're basically, clients are coming in saying, I want this Plan G, or I want this Humana Medicare Advantage plan. And as an agent, that's a guaranteed sale. So you just take it versus going through the entire process. So never cheat your clients of a whole appointment.
I guess I didn't really think about that. It just in the sense of how much more information is presentable or available to them nowadays. Selling obviously looks different than it did 10 years ago, but with so much more available at their fingertips, they may have already heard so much more, and the client could be limiting themselves.
They are, because the information that they're looking at is biased a lot of the times, and it works. If it works for their neighbor, it should work for me, right? And that's obviously not always the case.
Yeah, a very personalized protection package, and I know that's one thing that we've discussed previously, and we'll kind of mention here is focusing on a benefit package. You're not here for just that one product quick sale. You are hoping to be the agent and the servicer for their entire time. So making sure they've got something that, I think that there's even an agent that we work with that'll do an accordion folder.
They might like the coolest way of doing that.
And they have a little bit of everything in each packet, and that way, if this happens, pull this out. You're already, here's your information on it. So,
really great question we got. If you're doing a Medicare Advantage prescription drug sale, how do you then compliantly go into final expense? So just keeping that in mind. Final expense in any financial product is not on the scope of appointment. And so if you have somebody sign a scope of appointment, you can no longer discuss that product. So that is an excellent reason why the follow-up appointment works for that, is to even say like, hey, because we talked about government-sponsored or government-specific plans, we weren't able to cover a lot of things that are incredibly important to your portfolio or to your benefit package. One of those being life insurance. let's get back together in a couple months so we can make sure your Medicare Advantage plan is working for you, but also let's cover some of the other things that we didn't get to discuss at this appointment.
Yeah. It's so crazy to think.
I feel like I'm talking very low energy. It just hurts if I talk at a higher decibel than this, so I'm sorry.
Just more hand movements with this hand
movements.
they'll balance each other out.
Yeah, I'll just go crazy. You go ahead.
A little robot.
I'm gonna dance over here.
But man, there's so many different influences that happen in someone's life, and being able to make sure you're taking care of them in every avenue is the goal. And yeah, I think that's a really good question that was posed here, because a lot of the time we have maybe the best intentions, but the whole question of how.
Exactly.
So I think getting the opportunity and just being aware of it yourself is a great first step, and then taking it further from here.
Yeah. Another question asks, what if the client wants to go over those financial products at the same time? Then you have the best client in the world if they want to. I hate to give the answer that I'm going to give, but if that is the case, then what they say is they don't pay as attention to the dates of it, but they have to say you need to have 2 separate appointments. So could 2 separate appointments being the same day? Potentially, but how do you prove there was a break from your Medicare Advantage appointment to this appointment? A year ago, 2 years ago, I would say, just take a 10, 15-minute break. That might be okay. With the rise of looking at compliance and the microscope that's put on compliance in the last couple of years, I wouldn't risk it. So I really would recommend doing a separate day appointment. I would like those signature dates to be 2 different dates.
Well, and maybe lean into how much there is to go over in each of those different, because there's so much to discuss. And truthfully, I don't even know if myself personally could digest all the important information all in one sitting. And yes, it's nice to be able to get all that done in one go, but they may miss out on something that may actually have been super more beneficial further down the line.
Sure. So that would be my recommendation, is really trying to let them know, like, hey, these are 2 really complex conversations. Let's take some time. Let's take a break on this.
Let's go slow.
I am a huge proponent or a huge fan of the 1 appointment close, meaning that you collect the information, you fact find, you present the options, and you take an application in one setting. I still believe that you can do that and cross-sell in a 45-minute appointment. It works, but there are some cases where that's just not simply an okay way of doing it due to compliance, or it can be incredibly overwhelming to the client. So your sales process should look the same every time. The outcome may look different. So you may being able to, set that follow-up appointment maybe more quickly, trying to get them additional products.
You wouldn't sell Avon to the same person you're selling boat insurance to.
I've seen it done.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
yes, my mom wasn't a very good Avon agent.
Your mom wasn't a good Avon agent, no. I've seen it to where you show up to sell the boat insurance, but hey, like, while I'm here, there's this other stuff I have going on, and that always works.
Interesting.
Okay. I have to be done. So, again, guys, thank you guys so much. Here's the time. Feel free, guys, to text your questions to us. See, I went low, I went high there, and I shouldn't have gone high. Text, this is actually, I'm looking at your text messages right now. Text us any questions, comments, concerns, sets, or promises. You also have the ability to comment on our YouTube page. So feel free to, this is the time now again, you never get to see Ben on here, and he's obviously a wealth of knowledge. So if you do have any questions for either of us, please feel free to reach out now.
And I'd hate to miss the opportunity, but if you guys enjoy what you guys see weekly here, we actually dive in deeper into the cafe page on Facebook. So if you type in Medicare Cafe agent page or agent group, you can request access that. Let me know that you were in the live here today, and I will make sure you get added and give you a personal hello.
For sure. And then, Michelle, here is that cross-selling screen again. We do actually have some really cool videos about the 8-step selling process. Because if you are uncomfortable cross-selling in your appointment, it's because maybe you have a hiccup in your sales process. So we do have some really cool trainings about how to basically run your appointments similar to how a doctor runs their office. You go to the doctor for different things, different circumstances, but the process is the same each time, and you should be running your appointments that same way.
And one thing you mentioned is the dentist always, that how brilliantly they always, I don't think I've left a dentist office without my next appointment. They hand me a card,
best.
and I didn't even know if that day will come in the future.
Yep.
It could be whatever. And I may have an entire day already planned out, but tomorrow morning I'll be at the dentist.
Yep.
I didn't remember it 6 months ago, but I'll be there.
Well, because it's a touch point. They call you and say, hey, here's a reminder that your appointment is next week. You know, there's just so many cool ways to stay connected to your clients in a non-pushy way that allows you to, again, make policyholders into real clients and help you work that book of business.
Yeah, I love that.
So, okay. I appreciate your all patience with me. Luckily, you didn't have to sit, you don't have to be where Ben's at and be right next to this slime ball of a human. I'm going to adopt. Will be in Dallas tomorrow and through Friday to meet with some other integrity partners to go over how can we make the agent experience better. So this is going to be great. They're really going to enjoy this.
Let's see, maybe the first recommendation will be, speak with different tones or something.
Literally,
along those lines.
listen, I'm going to, I don't even want to go into detail, but I'm going to, after this, go in my office, shut the door, and just practice my jazzy Phoebe Buffet voice.
I'm so excited because I sit
You
right
literally
outside
sit
her
right
office.
outside my office, yeah.
So this will be great for the rest of the day.
So, on that note, we appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with us today. Join us next Tuesday. We have more fun and exciting topics for you. And join the Medicare Cafe Facebook page as well. Facebook group.
Yeah. Well, you can like the page too. That helps.
Okay.
So. You won't see me though.
So, do you know what you're supposed to do?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay.
I practiced all night.
Did you? Okay. So until next time, have fun.
Make money.
And give impeccable service. You did it. Good job. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Oh, I don't want to exit. What am I doing? Stop streaming. Okay, for real now.